So you want to become smart. In most of the world, you're told it takes 12 years of school, 4 years of college, and another 6 years of graduate school to become smart. But what you actually become is homeless. That's not even a joke. But hey, when you make a Reddit post about how you can't get a job, at least you can do it in perfect English. Let's get to the point. Becoming smart is actually very easy, even if you think you're not naturally bright. Compared to every other animal, you're already pretty powerful. When people like you and me say we want to get smarter, we mean a few things. We want to learn useful skills, ideally ones that make money. We want to solve problems, hopefully for money. We want to get better grades and learn difficult subjects to make more money and to show off. We want to sound smart in conversations, enough to get respect, but not so much that people think we're nerds. The problem? Most advice on the internet is so vague and philosophical that only Oprah and Socrates could follow it. And if you look for specific advice, you get things like eat blueberries because they're brain food, drink black coffee, exercise, sleep more, take IQ tests, listen to classical music. These tips sound good, but at some point, you have to actually learn stuff. Some geniuses spent the whole day sitting at a desk, getting only 2 to 4 hours of sleep a day. So what can you actually do to get smarter, beyond the same 6 brain hacks from a Facebook post copied and pasted from a wikiHow article, inspired by a quote spray painted on a New York subway wall? The main thing you need to do. Read what kind of reading? It depends. Fiction is good for reading speed and vocabulary. Plus, if you read a lot of dialogue, it feels like you have friends. Most people go straight for nonfiction, which is key to casually dropping interesting knowledge in conversations. For example, just by reading this book, you can come off in conversation as someone who knows history. The key is not to be obnoxious about it. Here's how you do it. Bad example. Crazy how we evolved from chimpanzees, right? Well, actually, evolution is nonlinear, and several human-like species inhabited Earth simultaneously, none of which could be remotely considered chimpanzees. I was reading the other day that humans and chimpanzees actually evolved side by side. I always thought we evolved from them, but I guess not. You can be smart while also being humble and sounding relatable. Teach people what you know without making them feel dumb. This way, people will actually learn from you and see you as smart and respectable. Finding books, it's easy. You don't have to read the same 5 books everyone tells you to read. Think of a topic you want to learn about, like cleaning. Google books about cleaning. Here's one that looks good. Usually, these books cost money, but if your finger slips, you might accidentally end up on a certain website. Search for the book title, click the first link, and accidentally download a file. Oops, now that you have the book, pick out interesting tidbits for conversations and learn useful skills. Here are 10 things you should know before learning a skill. Practice the skill, your brain will forget it otherwise. You only need to know 20% of the knowledge to master 80% of the skill, the learning curve. To truly learn a skill, you must practice it. Watching a video on tying a tie won't help unless you actually tie a tie while watching. The same applies to reading books. Use what you learn, or at least imagine yourself using it. For instance, imagine you're reading about jump-starting a car. Ideally, you'd practice, but not everyone has 2 cars to practice on. Instead, watch a video and imagine the process step by step. Your brain will believe you used that information, making it easier to remember. This is how you get smart. Use everything you learn. If you can't practice, imagine yourself in the situation where it's useful. This method is essentially how the school system works. You learn information, and since it will be years before you use it, tests create imaginary situations where that info is useful. Studying tips repetition, spaced repetition, or mind mapping might help, but practice questions yield the best results. They simulate the actual situations where you'll need the knowledge. If no practice questions are available, create your own and convince yourself the stakes are high. Pretend you're hanging off a cliff, and someone will only save you if you can name all parts of a human cell. The best form of textbooks are the best for becoming smart fast. They offer pure information and practice questions without fluff. If you can't solve a problem, flip to the appendix for help. Textbooks aren't for casual learners since they're not as fun as YouTube videos. But if you're up for the challenge, there's a website where you might accidentally find free textbooks on any subject. Before you head off to become a genius, I'm collecting donations in the form of subscribes to fund the next video.